So this is it. We're starting to see that employers now what they may do, pardon me, now that we know that President Obama's healthcare law is here for good. Today, Walmart announced it's raising its healthcare premiums for its employees anywhere from 8 to 36%. They might sound crazy, but it also could be just the tip of the iceberg. What does it mean, and what's going to happen to you, most importantly, because that's what you care about. With me now is Stan Hupfeld, former CEO of Integris Health. Welcome to the show, Stan. Thanks for joining us. Were you surprised to see about this move, or do you think that this is sort of the natural progression of events?
No, I think it was fairly predictable. You know, the Affordable Care Act does have some consumer-friendly parts to it, obviously, no pre-existing conditions and covering your children on your policy till you're 26, but they do come with a cost. And that was a predictable part, and so I think what you're seeing in Walmart's is they're not only protecting themselves against the natural increase in healthcare cost, but they're also protecting themselves against the unknown healthcare cost of things like no pre-existing conditions.
So if they go ahead and raise the price and then employees can't afford it, what happens then?
Well, presumably, depending on the level of income of those employees, they could be eligible for some subsidies in the Affordable Care Act going through the internet, through what is called the insurance exchanges at each state.
So how does that work? Then who pays for that?
Well, the employer, obviously, if they choose not to provide health insurance for their employees, do pay a fee or a fine to cover those individual employees. But if they're still providing insurance, for their employees and their employees can take advantage of them, employees choose not to, and then their income is low enough that they apply for the subsidies, then that comes out of the taxpayer's pocketbook. So
it just becomes another one of the giant entitlements that we have going in this country.
That's certainly a way to look at it.
Yeah, when they talk about premiums at Walmart going up as much as 36%, you look at what the premium is, though, and it's like, I'm trying to find it. Oh, it's like $15 a month. So even if it went up 36%, it's still only like $20. It's at the end of the day. I mean, on a percentage basis, it sounds like a lot, but it's not that expensive. Don't you think most employees can afford that?
Well, most employers provide health insurance. They pay the vast majority of the cost, usually somewhere between 70 and 80+%. The employees are left to pay the balance. And of course, if healthcare premiums go up, obviously the employee's portion would go up too. If an employer like Walmart covers the significant part of the increase, then the part the employees would have to pay obviously is much less. And then I guess it depends on the individual circumstance whether the employee feels it's too much.
As someone who's been in the industry for a long time, what do you think is the bottom line on how this is playing out? I mean, is it net good? Do more people end up with health insurance, or does it become so much more? What does it look like in the end?
Well, I think in the end, more people obviously do have health insurance. Whether they have a physician that will actually see them or not is a different story. What I think the real telling point here is that this may be the very first sign, the first salvo in what's going to happen with the employer's mandate. Now, my philosophy, which I stated in my book, is that probably within 10 years we will do away with employer-based insurance, because employers, we have to remember that providing health insurance for your employees can be a problem, and it often results in you having to make decisions which don't please your employees, which is never a good position. So I think what's going to happen is that many employers are simply going to say, I'm going to choose not to provide you health insurance. I'm going to pay the fine, particularly if the fine is less than the cost of insurance. I'm going to let you go to the insurance exchange and find it yourself, and I may replace that with some other benefit, which is not nearly as controversial.
Yeah, and some people will go to the exchange, and wealthy people will go out and just buy really expensive health care that's better. We'll create a two-tier system probably at the end of the day.
That certainly could happen.
Yeah. Stan, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate your time.